SCOPA will today continue its inquiry into Eskom corruption allegations made by the former CEO, Andre de Ruyter. Yesterday, the police minister, Bheki assured the committee that there is a huge political will to curb what he described as sabotage and corruption at the power utility. He also explained that he followed up on the alleged involvement of politicians in wrongdoing. However, security and law enforcement agencies say no politicians are currently being investigated. Earlier this year, you'll recall that de Ruyter blew the whistle and implicated at least one official, but he's since shied away from revealing the name. All right, let's try and get the latest now. And our reporter, Erin Bates, is in Parliament for us. Erin, good morning to you. Today, it's the turn of the Eskom board. What are they likely going to say? Because some time ago, I had the board chairperson in studio with me. In fact, he was the first person to reveal this information about a covert investigation that was done away from Eskom's books. What is he likely to tell that committee?
Well, Chloe, if yesterday's line of questioning and indeed the input from law enforcement seniors is anything to go by, Eskom is going to need to divulge how it came about that an outside company was given the mandate to do this investigation and produce this dossier of intelligence reports on what was happening at Eskom. There's been a lot of controversy about these reports and some serious sharp questions raised around their veracity, the reliability of the evidence contained, and whether or not they have enough substance in them to provide the sort of kickstart for any criminal investigations. That came up yesterday when we heard from Police Minister Bheki, also Police Chief Fani Mosemela, also the head of the Hawks, Godfrey Labia, and head of the SIU, Advocate Andy Motibi. The issue, Chloe, is the whereabouts of those intelligence reports, the dossier upon which Andre de Ruyter drew when he made a submission which was prepared by an attorney, which was submitted to SCOPA in April on the eve of his appearance. Now, one of the issues that came through yesterday was whether or not that submission by de Ruyter really kind of gets him out of the hook in terms of reporting properly in his role as Group CEO at Eskom, and whether or not he blew the whistle or raised the flag over concerns around illegality, and not just any illegality, Chloe. We're talking about mafioso-style syndicates, criminal networks, cartels, some allegedly deeply politically connected, which have been carving away at the functionality of the power grid, the national utility, the state-owned enterprise, Eskom.
Yeah. Erin, also, I think what came out yesterday, which was quite interesting from the SIU's Andy Motibi. He made it very clear that questions that ought to be asked is how did the Eskom CEO get approval to conduct this covert investigation? How was the private investigator paid? All of these questions. Does it look like this is now starting to be almost a noose around the neck of Andre de Ruyter, and perhaps us being sidetracked from what is clearly an admission as well from the people that were testifying there yesterday, that at Eskom you have a criminal syndicate or criminal networks that are working to milk that institution? That is not in doubt. Are we being sidetracked?
That's exactly the question that some of the MPs asked yesterday during the question and answer session, whether all of this quizzing around the source of these reports is a smokescreen to not actually deal with the issue of criminal networks, criminal syndicates. It was also interesting, Chloe, to hear Motibi speak about the evidence before the SIU in a number of ongoing investigations and prior investigations into Eskom graft, which is a well-entrenched issue in the national utility, the national power supply higher. And him saying that there is absolute evidence here of sophisticated criminality, of syndicates at play, and that seems to be what's before them. The issue here is what work have law enforcement done to get to the bottom of all of these questions which Mothibi raised during that meeting. Here are just the list of things he wants answers on, and exactly why, Xoli, he's behind the doors you can see in shot, waiting for this meeting to get underway to get answers from Eskom's board.
Eskom, well, that's our reporter there, Erin Bates, live for us at that parliamentary committee. It's about to start at any moment, and as soon as that happens, we will take you back there today.